Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I'm Frank Komalape, and here are some of our top stories now. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally sought the confirmation of the Senate for the newly appointed service chiefs. Also in this package, a national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said it is too early to judge President Muhammadu Buhari. And outside Nigeria now, the Libyan court has sentenced Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of the deposed leader Muammar Gaddafi, and others to death over 2011 war crimes. And now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari has decried the current situation in the country in which the teachers go without being paid their salaries for many months in some states. The president raised the concerns after receiving a briefing from the Permanent Secretary of Federal Ministry of Education, Mark John Nwobiala, in Abuja on Tuesday. A senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists. The president urged the three-tiers of government to be more mindful of their responsibilities to pay teachers their salaries on time, noting that the non-payment of teachers had resulted in long-running strike by teachers in some states. Buhari said the worst harm state governments could cause their citizens was to deny them good education. And our Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has said that a number of government agencies, financial institutions and professional bodies lack transparency and accountability and have fallen short of accounting standards. The Vice President Osinbajo noted this development while receiving leaders of both the Nigerian Bar Association and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria separately in the presidential villa in Abuja on Tuesday. According to a statement by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Laulu Akiade, Osinbajo also stressed the need for professional elites to join the present administration in the current fight against corruption in the country. He also expressed the readiness of the federal government to work on judicial and justice sector reforms. And now the Senate on Tuesday resumed from a 5-week recess, with Senate President Bukola Saraki urging his colleagues to put aside bickering over leadership positions to focus on issues impeding national progress. He said this in his welcome speech that what Nigerians expect from the National Assembly is support for President Muhammadu Buhari at a time economic leakages need to be blocked and Boko Haram defeated. The Senate President added that it was one of the reasons the lawmakers took some steps during the recess towards blocking identified leakages.
We must make no mistake that the aim of these militant groups is simple: to test our resolve and disintegrate our unity. But let me reiterate the readiness and willingness of the National Assembly to support and work with the President to comprehensively root out the Boko Haram. We join Mr. President in saying that we will defeat terrorism in our country and our region because we have the will to win this fight. Our resolve is collective, and we urge all our friends of Nigeria and the international community to join us. Distinguished colleagues, we have our work cut out for us. We cannot afford but to focus on our work. Nigerians give us a mandate to serve and less of a mandate to come and pursue leadership. The mandate is for us to pursue governance and bring solutions to their burning issues. It is time we remind ourselves of the solemn promise to deliver to our people real change. Leadership is secondary to our primary responsibility of good governance.
While a federal high court in Abuja has refused to grant a party application seeking to stop the Senate President Bukola Saraki from constituting the Senate standing committees, ruling in an ex parte motion filed by 5 senators who were led by Senator Kabiru Marafa. Justice Gabriel Kolawole held that there was nothing urgent in what the plaintiffs were asking for. Justice Kolawole said that the 2015 Senate rules, as amended, upon which the plaintiffs predicated the motion, had been in existence since June 9, when the Senate President and his deputy were elected. The judge added that rushing to the court within hours of the Senate resumption is not appropriate because the issue of urgency has become belated. He also pointed out that the court is not created to supervise the internal affairs of the National Assembly, except if it conducts infringements on the Constitution. Justice Kolawole directed the plaintiffs to put the defendants on notice and adjourn till August 5 for hearing on the matter. And now, the 81 senators across party lines have passed a vote of confidence on Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy, Ike Ekweremadu. They also expressed concern over the continued harassment of the Senate, management of the National Assembly, and spouses of senators by security agencies. The vote of confidence was on the basis of a motion by Senator Samuel Anyanwu of PDP Imo East. 32 senators elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress are among the federal lawmakers who endorsed the motion. They include Adamu Alero, Bukar Ibrahim, Sheikh Husani, and Adamu Abdullahi, all of whom were hitherto key members of the Ahmed Lawan group. And our former Akwa Ibom State Governor, Gospel Akpabio, is Senate Minority Leader. These was after members of the People's Democratic Party caucuses formally submitted his name to the Senate leadership as the leader in the upper chamber. Senate President Bukola Saraki made the announcement on Tuesday shortly after the federal lawmakers resumed from recess. Emmanuel Vacha, Taraba South, is Deputy Minority Leader, while Philip Aduda, representing the FCT, is Minority Whip. Senator Biodun Olujimi, Ekiti South, is Deputy Minority Leader. And in the meantime, the leadership crisis that has rocked the House of Representatives since inauguration may have finally been laid to rest, with Femi Gbajabiamila named as House Leader. This was part of the announcement made by the Speaker Yakubu Dugara before adjourning plenary to Wednesday, July 29. Other principal officers are Al-Hassan Dugua as Chief Whip, Pali Iriase from Edo as Deputy Whip, while Buba Jibrin, representing Lokoja Kotu Federal Constituency, emerged Deputy House Leader. The lawmakers and All Progressive Congress chieftains had met briefly with President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday to sort out the crisis. And now President Muhammadu Buhari has formally sought the confirmation of the Senate for the newly appointed service chiefs. This was the thrust of the letter read by Senate President Bukola Saraki on resumption from a 5-week recess. The President urged the lawmakers to give speedy consideration to the request to enable the military chiefs discharge their duties of ensuring national security. And away from there now, a national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said it is too early to judge President Muhammadu Buhari. He insisted that the president needs at least 100 days in office before his performance could be rated by any standard. Tinubu spoke with State House correspondents shortly after a closed-door meeting with President at the presidential villa. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories. Do join us again.
This is what the people are saying. You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You're watching CoreTV Prime Time News live from our Lagos studios. If you just join us, a quick reminder of our top stories. And now, President Muhammad Buhari has formally sought the confirmation of the Senate for newly appointed 7 chiefs. Now, good news as Femi Gbajabiamila names as House Leader. The national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said it is too early to judge President Muhammadu Buhari. Outside Nigeria now, a Libyan court sentenced Saif al-Islam Gaddafi's son of deposed leader Muammar Gaddafi and 8 others to death over 2011 war crimes. All our top stories can be found on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. And now the army authorities say troops have foiled 2 insurgent attacks on the hometown of the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tukur Buratai on Monday night. Army spokesman Colonel Sanusi Usman said in a statement on Tuesday that the Boko Haram men struck around 9:30 on Monday night but were repelled by soldiers on duty. He added that the insurgents staged another attempt on the town at about 3 a.m., which was again foiled by the troops. This is the 4th time the insurgents were attacking the Buratai town since February 2014. The town was first attacked when Buratai was the commander of the Joint Task Force in the Niger Delta. Away from there now, the activities of a 7-man and ad hoc committee of the Osun State House of Assembly set up to investigate the petition against the governor of the state on Tuesday suffered a setback as the petitioner refused to appear before the committee in person as expected. The petitioner, Justice Folahomi Oloyede, a serving judge in the State High Court, had been invited to appear before the committee to present evidence in support of her petition. Our correspondent, Rashid, has the rest of the story. Well, we'll bring you that report in a subsequent bulletin, negating the plea of the Governor Rochas Okorocha. The Imo State Governor Worker has finally embarked on strike on Tuesday. The NSC chairman, while addressing the press, said the strike action is for 5 days and hereby warning the state government to do everything humanly possible to ensure all pending workers' salaries were paid. And if failed to do so, the NSC will ready to take drastic strike measures, no matter the consequences. Following these, the NSC leaders went round from one parastatal to another in the state to make sure workers are complying to the order of not working. Prompt action by the state government is highly expected on or before the expiration of the 5 days when in strike. Meanwhile, the Imo State government has expressed disappointment over the recent industrial action embarked on by the state workers. The strike, which generated a series of reactions among Imo residents, was pointed accusing fingers at the NLC and Trade Union Congress. According to the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Sam Onwumeodo, the development came as a surprise, stressing that the workers failed to keep the end of the agreement reached with the state government over the issue of unpaid salaries. The governor's spokesman stated the likelihood of holding a meeting with the aggrieved workers to settle their differences. And now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Brigadier General Boro, retired, as coordinator of the amnesty program for former Niger Delta militants. The appointment was contained in a statement made available to journalists by the special advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, in Abuja on Tuesday. Boro, whose appointment takes immediate effect, takes over the responsibility of the former special advisor to the President, Goodluck Jonathan, of Niger Delta, Kingsley Kuku, who also doubled as coordinator of the amnesty program. The statement disclosed that the appointment of a new coordinator for the amnesty program is expected to lead a speedy resolution of recent hitches in its implementation, such as non-payment of outstanding allowances to ex-militants. And away from there now, the Taraba State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja has adjourned to July 31 to hear an application challenging its jurisdiction to sit in Abuja. Chairman of the three-man panel, Justice Musa Abubakar, who fixed the date, also cautioned counsel against causing delay in the hearing of the petition. At Tuesday's sitting, counsel to PDP Solomon Akuma had asked for time to respond to issues raised by the petitioner on the grounds that he was not served on time. He also challenged the jurisdiction of the tribunal to sit in Abuja. But counsel to the petitioner, Mahmoud Magaji, insisted that the objections to the petition and the main suit can be heard at the same time in order for the court to deliver one judgment. The APC in Taraba State and its candidate at the April 11 governorship election, Aisha Al-Hassan Dragaine, PDP, and the governor Darius Ishaku before the tribunal to challenge his victory. Away from election matter now, a former Ekiti State chairman of the Road Transport Employers Association and sympathizer of the All Progressive Congress, Rotimi Olabiwonu, has been arraigned for the murder of former boss of the union, Omolafe Adiri, a strong supporter of Governor Yodele Fauci, who was killed September 2014. The arraignment has, however, caused reactions as counsel to the suspect has accused the state government of witch hunting. A correspondent, Rashid, has the rest of the story.
After investigations and much arrest of alleged suspects of the murder of former leader of Ekiti State National Union of Road Transport Workers, Omolafe Adiri, the State Police Command has also arraigned Rotimi Olabiwonu, otherwise known as Mentilo, before an Ado Ekiti Magistrate Court. Counsel to the suspect, however, raised eyebrow on the arraignment of Mentilo on the murder of Adiri, saying investigation to the case is already concluded. The prosecuting counsel, however, declined comment.
Legal advice is out. They have told the courts that these people be charged for the murder of Adiri. Simple like that. Okay. Now they are bringing in this my client on for the same murder. Who are we going to hold responsible? Any other question through the police PPRO or through the court PPRO?
The former boss of the road union workers who was murdered was a loyalist to Governor Fayose, while Rotimi Olabiwonu is of the state APC. The defense counsel, however, vows to challenge the arraignment in court.
The persons who they allege to have killed Adiri are having their trial before his lordship or Motosho J of the State High Court at Ekiti. Now you are bringing another person for the murder of the same Adiri. I don't really know whether he died, resurrected, and he was killed again. This is what we want to tell the courts.
Okay, any other information you wish to pass?
For now, let us just wait till we file our application and the court rules on it. We are coming back on Friday, God willing.
Preliminary objection raised by the defense counsel is scheduled for hearing on Friday as the mysteries surrounding the death of Aderiye continue to unfold with events. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
And now the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to an alleged fake medical doctor, Martins Ope, in the sum of 1 million naira with 2 sureties. Trial Judge Justice Gabriel Kolawole ruled that the sureties must be civil servant and a federal ministry or agency with grade level 12. Ope, an employee of the Federal Ministry of Health Abuja, was formally arraigned before the court on a 5-count charge of stealing a Bachelor of Medicine degree of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and the criminal charge Ope was alleged to have impersonated Dr. George by adopting his full names as his own and using the free certificate to secure employment with the federal government. The accused was employed as a senior medical officer in 2006 on grade level 12 with Federal Ministry of Health until recently when he was found to be practicing with fake documents. The offense was said to be contrary to Section 383 and punishable under Section 390 of the Criminal Code law. And our arrangements are in top chair to give Dr. Marian Abimbola Silva, who passed on a fortnight ago in Lagos, befitting burial. Late Silva, who hailed from Abeokuta, is the mother of star actress Joker Silva and the fourth Nigerian woman to qualify as a medical doctor. She will be laid to rest on Thursday, July 30th, after a funeral service at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos. She was 89. And away from there now, we take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be back with business and other stories. Join us again.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Outside Nigeria now, the Libyan court has sentenced Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of a deposed leader Muammar Gaddafi, and 8 others to death over war crimes linked to the 2011 revolution. More than 30 close associates of Colonel Gaddafi were tried for suppressing peaceful protests. Saif al-Islam was not present in court and gave evidence via video link. It's been held by a former rebel group from the town of Ziktan that refuses to hand him over. Former head of intelligence for Gaddafi regime, Abdullahi al-Senussi, is among those also facing death by firing squad, as is former PM Baghdadi al-Mahdi. Saif al-Islam is also wanted by the International Criminal Court on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Prosecutors say that it was part of his father's plan to quell the civilian demonstrations against the Gaddafi regime. And our Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak sacked his deputy and 4 other ministers in the cabinet reshufflement on Tuesday, and a replacement to Attorney General in a bid to stifle questions over a graft scandal, a debt-laden state investment fund of $1 billion US. Muhyiddin Hassan has criticized Najib's handling of allegations surrounding a state investment fund. The allegations of extensive graft are the biggest threat to Najib's credibility since he took office in 2009 and could even threaten the group. His United Malays National Organization party has kept Malaysian politics since independence in 1957. Najib has denied taking any money for personal gain, saying the corruption allegations are part of a malicious campaign to force him from office. He also denied transferring funds to Najib, and an interim government report has found nothing suspicious. Malaysians are waiting to see if Najib takes legal action against the Wall Street Journal, though he has taken action to shut down domestic media pursuing the scandal. And now NATO is holding an emergency meeting in Brussels to discuss Turkey's military campaign against Islamic State, IS group and Kurdish militant. Turkey was until recently a reluctant partner in the U.S. coalition against IS, but over the past few days it has bumped IS and Kurdish position. However, Turkish president has said that Turkey cannot continue the peace process with the Kurds amid attacks by Kurdish militants and Turkish targets. It came as NATO discussed Turkish campaigns against the Islamic State and group and Kurdish militants. U.S. and Turkey say they are working together on plans to create an IS-free zone along the border with Syria, as well as targeting IS militants. And in business now, Germany's Volkswagen sold 5,400,000 cars between January and June this year to become world's biggest selling vehicle maker, overtaking Toyota for the first time. Toyota had sold 5,200,000 cars in the same period. The Japanese company said on Tuesday its sales fell 1.5 million compared with 2014 as growth in emerging markets slowed. Volkswagen has long aimed to beat Toyota and has done so 3 years ahead of the 2018 target. General Motors had the global sales crown for more than 7 decades until being surpassed by Toyota in 2008. General Motors regained the top spot in 2011 when Toyota's production was hurt by the earthquake and tsunami in northeastern Japan. Toyota became #1 again the following year and has had the title since. Meanwhile, Ford has announced that it sold 3.26 million vehicles globally in the first half of the year. The U.S. company reported a 10% rise in pre-tax profits to $2.9 billion for the 3 months to 30 June, with revenue coming in about $2 billion higher than expected, $37.3 billion. All sales in North America rose by 56,000 to 816,000 vehicles, where Ford generated the bulk of its profit. In Europe, losses were halved to $14 million as Ford sales rose by 13,000 to 389,000. And now back to Africa. Now, Africa's labor leaders alleging that over $50 billion leave the continent through illicit financial flows annually. They also claim that several African governments have been engaging in harmful tax practices that have allowed multinational companies to fleece the continent. This revelation formed part of the communique issued by Kwasi Adu-Amankwa, the Secretary General of the African Regional Organization of the International Trade Union Confederation, ITUC, after a 2-day meeting held in Abuja in collaboration with the Nigerian Labour Congress. Amankwa and the Nigerian Labour Congress President Ayuba Waba noted that trade unions on the continent would continue to partner governments in the face of the current security challenges. And now the Nigeria Electricity and Regulatory Commission says it will implement the sector's health and safety codes with stiffer penalty for defaulters. Speaking at stakeholders' quarterly meeting in Abuja, the chairman of the commission, Sam Amadi, decried the alarming rate of death and injuries recorded in the sector. Amadi insists that it was unacceptable for operators to continually undermine safety precautions, thereby endangering the lives and health of their staff. He noted that this has resulted to the death of over 350 staff between 2011 to June 2015.
Because of our private sector, we are more susceptible to financial sanction. So in those days, one was saying, oh, government, if you sanction them, they are who they have to issue letter, note to the treasury, and then wait for the next budget cycle. And then by the way, they don't pay, what are they going to do? Now we are exposed for good, which is good. If they sanction you, you must pay.
We have seen the records, and quite honestly, the records are really, really ISO. We cannot continue to operate this industry like this. In 2011 alone, we recorded 64 injuries and 73 deaths. In 2012, we recorded 34 injuries and 72 deaths. In 2013, we recorded 107 injuries with 83 deaths.
And now, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission yesterday said a long-drawn dispute over the 20-year lease granted to Geometric Power Aba Limited to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity in the Aba and area business district of the Enugu Electricity Distribution Center have been sorted out, if not for the subsequent lawsuit filed by the contending parties. NEC Chairman Sam Amadi disclosed this in Abuja that long before the expiration of the tenure last administration, former President Goodluck Jonathan had granted his consent to determine the dispute using its regulatory powers, but that his initial efforts were bungled by the lawsuit. Amadu stated that the Commission had quickly acted on the presidential consent and first moved to set up a public hearing in line with standard regulatory practices, but had to subsequently pull back following a notice of existing lawsuits by the contending parties. But an update of the dispute and what the Commission will likely do next to resolve the dispute, Amadu explained to journalists that the issue was discussed in the Commission's last management meeting with a resolve to revisit it based on the consent of the new government of President Muhammadu Buhari. And our delinquent debtors of deposit-burning banks whose loans have become non-performing are rushing to the banks to negotiate their outstanding facilities 4 days to the expiration of the July 31 repayment deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria. CBN had on April 22 directed the banks and discount houses to commence the publication of the names of the delinquent debtors from August 1. Banks have been ordered to publish the list of the delinquent debtors whose loans remained non-performing after the deadline in at least 3 national newspapers on a quarterly basis. In line with the directive, banks gave the chronic debtors a 3-month grace period, which will expire on July 31. And while the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, the government agency that brought over the non-performing loans in the banks after 2009 banking sector crisis, said on Monday that it will publish the names of the debtors in line with a CBN directive. In a public notice, the agency advised the debtors to pay up or produce feasible structuring plans within the time stipulated by the central bank. You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. Coming up, it's sports news after this spear. And in sports news now, UEFA President Michel Platini will announce later this week he wants to be the next president of FIFA, as Swiss Sepp Blatter, 79, has been in charge of FIFA since 1998, but standing down in February as a result of a corruption crisis at World Football's governing body. The election is due to be held in Zurich at an emergency congress attended by the FIFA member associations. Candidates have until 26 October to nominate his candidate. However, Platini appears favored to replace Blatter with the backing of his own European Confederation, having gained support from South Africa, North Central America, and the Caribbean, and significantly Asian Football Club. And Sampaio are keen on rescuing Mario Balotelli from his frustrations at Liverpool, but wants the Premier League sides to reduce their $10 million, $7.1 million asking price, as the 24-year-old quickly fell out of favor with Brendan Rodgers after his $20 million arrival from AC Milan last summer, scoring only one top-flight goal in 16 matches. Liverpool have heavily reinforced their forward line this summer with Christian Benteke, Roberto Firmino and Danny Ings all coming in, and Sampdoria have already shown an interest in offering Balotelli way out, as the talent side president Massimiliano Ferrero has indicated that the Reds are prepared to sell for a loss. Balotelli scored 4 goals in 28 matches in all competitions for Liverpool in 2014 to 2015 season, and Rodgers had refused to guarantee that the striker will remain at the club. And now the Olympic heptathlon champion Jessica Ennis-Hill has been named in Great Britain's squad for next month's World Athletics Championship in Beijing. The 29-year-old will return to competition in May following the birth of her son, competed in last weekend's anniversary games in London, and Mo Farah, who is also included, will defend his 5,000-meter and 10,000-meter titles, as sprinter Adam Jamili is in the 400 relay squad but will not take part in the individual event after injury. Ennis-Hill will be joined in the heptathlon by middle rival Katarina Jensen-Thompson, who will also compete in the long jump, and Farah, whose coach Alberto Zalaza has been accused of violating anti-doping rules, will be aiming to complete a hat-trick, a world 5,000-meter titles after taking gold in 2011 and 2013. Around in entertainment now, Morgan Freeman will star in upcoming action movie Down to a Sunless Sea, according to Deadline. Focus Features has bought the script by David Gleason, whilst the long line is under wraps. The flick is said to be similar in tone with Air Force One. Bruce Cohen and Morgan's company Revelation, which is headed by Laurie MC McRae, are producing the project. CCA broker the package deal. It's another plum project for Focus, with CEO Peter Slessis went the most coveted title at Cannes. The Tom Ford directed movie Nocturnal Animals, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams. Morgan will reprise his role as Alan Trumbull in London, which has fallen alongside other original stars like Gerard Butler, Aaron Hector, Angela Bassett, and Robert Foster. The Olympus Has Fallen sequel, directed by Babak Najafi, is scheduled to be released in the US on January 22, 2016. Well, you've been watching CoreTV Primetime News. Just before we go tonight, a recap of our major headline. We told you that President Muhammadu Buhari seeks the confirmation of Senate for the newly appointed service chiefs. We also reported that the leadership crisis that has rocked the House of Representatives since inauguration finally been laid to rest, with Femi Gbajabiamila named as House leader. The national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said it is too early to judge President Muhammadu Buhari. 600 days of reprieve. And that's it tonight on CoreTV Primetime News. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.